Music geeks know what a metronome is and how to use it, and most of them use it very often. However, today, some musicians might find the idea of practicing with a metronome cumbersome, but the reality is, practicing with a metronome may be more beneficial than you think. If you don't have a metronome in your practice room yet, maybe it's time to get one and start using it. Here's why you should take our advice. What is a metronome's purpose? A metronome may seem like a simple device, but it has several purposes. First of all, the device is majorly used in practicing and recording music. Metronomes allow musicians to create the process of overdubbing, which is mostly used in pop songs. The uses don't end here. This simple device also helps create the musical scores for TV shows and films, as the music is supposed to sync perfectly with the video file frames. Other than that, metronomes are of great help when practicing music. Pro musicians know and advocate the use of metronomes while practicing, especially if you are just starting out as a musician. As a musician, you should never underestimate what a metronome can provide you with. A metronome should be your best friend if you want to improve your music playing and recording skills. Hold tight because we have a lot to share. Metronomes are great for tracking progress. In music, tracking your progress is necessary, or else you wouldn't know if you're better or not. Metronome works great for this matter, as it can help you easily track your progress while practicing. Let's look at an example. Suppose you're trying to practice a very fast solo or passage. How would you track your progress? With a metronome. To track your progress on a metronome, you need to start playing as slow as possible. After noticing how slow it is, clock it on your metronome. Can you play all notes perfectly at this speed? If yes, go ahead with increasing the metronome speed a little. Once again, ensure that you can play the notes at this speed. Simply keep increasing the metronome speed until you reach your desired pace, and ensure that you can now play the fast passage properly. The process of tracking progress with a metronome is quite simple. Every time you use a metronome for keeping track of your progress, you'll find yourself working even harder. With the ability to play your desired music at the perfect speed, you'll already be a better musician. Here's a bonus tip. Try writing down a record by writing down all the speeds and dates that you played them perfectly. Keeping a log will allow you to go through the whole process once again after you've mastered playing a certain musical part. Want to build your playing speed? A metronome will help. When you see a classical guitarist play a perfect intricate music section, or a guitarist playing his favorite amazingly fast solo, remember that both of them built that certain speed after putting in a lot of work with a metronome. You can build both slow and fast paces with the help of a metronome. For building the high pace of your music, simply start from the slowest possible speed and clock your metronome with it. Now, keep increasing the playing speed as well as the metronome speed until you reach the desired pace. You might master the music piece in one shift, or it may take months of practice. It totally depends on the type and difficulty level of the music part you're working on. You may also want to practice slow music, and a metronome will help you slow down in a way that will also prevent you from slowing down where higher speed is required. Let your metronome click twice, or as many times as required per beat, for practicing slow notes. This way you can practice even the slowest possible music pieces. Once again, the time you need to master slowing down depends upon the type of music as well as your consistency. Metronomes help improve your sense of rhythm. Every musician will agree that metronomes are great for improving your sense of rhythm. In easier words, your timing. It means a metronome can enhance your sense of knowing where beats are and how they're divided. Most beginners and even intermediate musicians sometimes find the awareness of the pulse or beat when playing music. The ideal scenario for good musicians is that they have an idea of every division or subdivision of each beat, depending upon the notes that they're playing. Metronomes also allow you to hold notes for the whole intended play in a certain tempo when the beat is divided into divided notes. Identification of these smaller points will allow you to keep a hold on the rhythmic accuracy when playing. When practicing with a metronome, you'll be ultimately forced to notice the beats and how the notes fit into each beat. It's true that improvement in the sense of rhythm may take longer than mastering other musical skills, but to become a good musician, you need to put in the hard work and get help wherever you feel stuck. Don't want to drag or rush? Practice with a metronome. Sometimes dragging or rushing while playing can be a major problem, especially for beginners, but don't worry, because a metronome metronome can help you solve this issue as well. It's actually impossible to work on this issue without a metronome because it often happens so gradually that you can't even notice. When practicing with a metronome, a tempo is created, and you can get guidance from each of the metronome's clicks. While playing without a metronome, you can possibly rush or drag that tempo way too much and ruin the whole piece of music. To deal with this issue, you'll have to use a metronome to keep the tempo intact. This way, you'll also get to know your own tendency, understand it, and work on improving it. The only issue that may arise in this scenario is that you might not be able to keep the tempo when playing without a metronome. To handle this problem, you may want the metronome to guide you less once you have made progress. Instead of setting the metronome on a click per beat, make it click every 2 or more beats. This way you'll have to create most of the tempo yourself. On a lighter note, if you're already facing trouble in keeping your timing with the metronome set on 1 click per beat, this exercise might not be helpful for you. You should get even more guidance from the metronome in such a case instead of decreasing the guidance. Internal timing. Metronomes develop that. Consistent practice with metronomes helps develop internal timing in musicians. What do we mean by internal timing? It means that when you play a music part, even without your metronome, you'll know the timing of each beat. You'll play on time without adding or leaving anything. No dragging or rushing, just adding up to the groove without any distractions. In short, practicing with a metronome can help you perform perfectly whenever you want, even when your metronome isn't there to guide you. Great internal timing makes a great musician, so if you haven't developed this skill yet or need more improvement, ensure that you practice with a metronome. Metronomes make collaborations easier. Collaborations are amazing, but are they as easy as they look? No matter whom you collaborate with, both of you will have to make tempo choices. That's the hard part, unless you have a metronome. Both of you can agree upon one tempo and practice it separately with metronomes. Once you collaborate and play together, you'll find yourself syncing with each other. A metronome takes the problem of timing away and lets both of you focus on technical difficulties or other collaboration problems. We believe one less problem can lead to amazing progress, as you can now practice more without worrying about not syncing with your partner. Metronomes allow musicians to practice on their own in their comfort zone. So if you're someone who's going to collaborate with someone, you need to start practicing with a metronome. It'll prepare you for recording your music. Every time you record your music, the producer or engineer will set up a tempo that you must follow. But if you tend to drag or rush while playing and have never practiced with a metronome, you might end up ruining the whole recording. Practicing or recording with a metronome lets you put all your focus on the steady beats of the music you're playing. This is where the internal timing developed by the metronome comes in, and you can stay in sync. It also allows you to adapt to tempo changes, and you can always adjust yourself accordingly. Metronomes are literal guides of beats for everyone who's recording along with you. Naturally, if you've been practicing with a metronome, it'll be extremely easy for you to keep up with your fellows, and recording will go smoothly. Even if you're recording alone on your own, you just need to know how to click a metronome and you're good to go. Being a musician means getting better every day, practicing something new without a break. While playing music can be heard, a metronome can always help you make this task easier and fun. We hope this video will help you in every way possible. For more videos like this, keep watching and drop a like for support. Thank you.